Hey guys, I'm Charles Neal. I've been a woodworker, professional woodworker, for almost 40 years. And you know, through that course of time, you learn a thing or two. We have filmed a ton of DVDs, videos, YouTubes, written books on finishing and so forth, so on. But this DVD is a little different. This is the one where all of that we filmed, we're going to show you exactly how we do it and what we use. That's not to say that there's not other ways and there's not alternatives. But having done it professionally, as well as having a lot of friends who are professional woodworkers, you learn a thing or two. And ironically, the way we do things, while they may use a different saw or a different blade or a different this or that, the bottom line to it is we all kind of do the same thing the same way. The other thing with woodworking is you have to understand is it's inherently dangerous. I mean, that's just a given. I can tell you all about how dangerous it is. See my left hand? That's a table saw. Was I stupid? Well, maybe. Did I make a mistake? Maybe. What were they? Well, in my case, trying to make a living, I'd been up over 48 hours straight working, going wide open. And I, bottom line, just flat fell asleep over top of a table saw, over a big Powermatic 66. I was very fortunate in the fact I didn't have the blade too high above what I was cutting, but I still did a lot of damage. That said, the end of the line, and I think this was back in 1992, I did it. 97, I was corrected. Even back then, I was out of work for 8 months, and even with insurance, it cost me about $75,000. So I know about what it costs, I know the injuries, and I know the pain. And so we're going to try to teach you how to avoid that. But the other thing with woodworking is not only is it dangerous, but it's expensive, or can be. So one of the things we definitely want to look at, and we want you to take note of, is, you know, I'll guarantee you we've thrown away twice as many tools as we have. Why? They didn't work very well, ineffective, inefficient. You know, if you go out here and look around in the woodworking world, it's just a huge mass of gadgets, gizmos, and things like that. Some work, some don't. But again, the way we do it is what has worked for us all of these years. The same with a lot of our professional woodworkers and a lot of the hobby people who have followed us. The procedures and techniques just work and have never failed us not to. But one of the things that you have to know, before we were talking about safety and being dangerous, safety is your number one priority. There's one common rule, and don't forget this if you don't learn anything else. If it feels unsafe to you, it is. It's that simple. You know, as we go through this, we're going to talk about table saws and routers and direction of feed and understanding things. But the bottom line to it is, no matter what you do, if you have a fear of it, it's dangerous. Don't forget that. Safety, the number one safety thing is between your ears. Don't seem safe, it's not safe. I can't hammer that home enough. The other thing with woodworking is it's a progression. If you're a new woodworker, then you know, you've got to go through the steps. There's skills to be developed. In modern day, those skills take time. They take patience. Everybody in here tells me that I am probably one of the most impatient people there are, except when it comes to my woodworking. Because I've learned, if you're not, you're going to have issues. You just, you know, you can only go so fast and not make mistakes. But you're still going to make mistakes. You know, a lot of times the only difference in the professionals and the amateurs, we just know how to hide our mistakes and get out of trouble easier. And and I'm real good at that, both getting in trouble and I'm pretty good at getting out. But back to the safety thing. You know, you're going to see whether you're using a push stick that you made, one that you purchased, other ones you can purchase, you know, safety glasses, shields. You just can't be too safe. It's just, again, that's going to be the main priority. Nothing in woodworking is worth getting hurt over. But we want to show you how to avoid that as well. Okay. Sometimes, no matter what you do, you're going to get wood's got a twist in it. Twist is when it's twisted. Now, I can hear everybody telling me, well, you don't buy that. Well, no, not intentionally, but a lot of times when you get in, again, particularly with figured woods, it's just inevitable. Again, when you get all this figure, you've got all these adverse grains in there. So when this stuff is kiln dried, that wood can twist. I mean, it doesn't matter how well they sticker it and whatever's done, it's just the nature of the wood. And so what you have to do is you have to learn to deal with that. In my world, it's rare that you get particularly a pretty good sized piece of tiger maple or flame birch or pretty much anything that you're not going to be dealing with some twist and some boards. The key is how to get it out. Okay, a joiner. Now my joiner is an 8-inch rule of thumb. Get the biggest and the widest joiner you can afford. That's simple. The wider pieces of wood you can handle, the longer material you can do. A joiner, unlike a planer, is designed to straighten wood. But again, it has to be correct. Real quick, you got an out feed table, an in feed table. You set your in feed table to 0. You take a straight edge, you put across it. You want it straight. When you do that, you want to make sure your cutter head, that knife at the top point, is just touching the straight edge. My crosscut sled. I use this thing constant, particularly in cabinetry and stuff like that. One of the things that allows me, now mine's pretty big. This one is 28 by 51. But the thing that it allows me to do is it allows me to take fairly wide panels. I can usually take about a 22, 24-inch panel and cross-cut it. The other thing it allows me to do is set up stops for repetitive cuts.